Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity you've given us to share our impact. So, as I mentioned, I'm Alzaane. I'm one of the property managers here at Sasaab. We have been a member of the Long Run since 2015 and gained our GER status in 2022. Sasaab is a luxury safari property with 11 tented rooms located in the Westgate Community Conservancy. I'm sorry about the birds. In the Westgate Community Conservancy, the area spans 400 square kilometers and is known as the gateway to the Great North. Prior to 1963, anyone traveling to this region actually needed permission from the local government. Long before we started welcoming guests in 2007, the directors, Tanya and Michael Hartley, had a vision of creating a community tourism product. And at its core, Sasaab is essentially a partnership with the local Samburu people, bringing employment, celebrating the rich Samburu culture, and driving conservation in the area. Since opening, we have been lucky to have a positive relationship with the local community, and we re-signed our lease in 2022 for another 25 years. But that, of course, doesn't mean it's been without its challenges. I'll jump straight in and start with the issue around degraded land. The landscape is traditionally arid. However, with the recent drought, it became more visible. During the drought, we saw a decline in wildlife, like the endangered Grevy's zebra, and also in the livestock that is important to the pastoralist Samburu communities. Also contributing to this, of course, is overgrazing of certain areas. And out here, the Samburu value their livestock. They look at their wealth not as in how much money they have in their bank account, but how many cows, goats, and camels they have. So that also brings us to the issues around coexistence in the area. If we look at community, the community faces a huge challenge out here with their remoteness. They have limited access to adequate healthcare, with our closest hospital being 3 hours drive from this area, and many families not having access to vehicles. Our local dispensary often sees 60 people every day, and that number doubles easily when there are events or clan meetings in the area. The same problems are faced where education is concerned. There's lack of funding, lack of classrooms, and the educators just don't have all the resources they need. Culturally, we face the problem of the dilution of the culture. So factors such as modernization, migration, and urbanization all play a part in the loss of cultural practices, beliefs, and the loss of historical knowledge, and also the loss of traditional artifacts. Our main question here to ourselves was how we could share this with our guests. And on the topic of guests, we get to the last section of commerce. Here we had to prove to the community that the benefits from tourism would outweigh the loss of grazing land taken up by the site of the lodge, and also by that of a 9 square kilometer area set aside for wildlife known as our core conservation area. Resolutions are never a one fit for everyone, so they're never universal. All these resolutions took time, planning, dedication from all involved, from our footprint trust team to our marketing, to the staff on the ground, the community, and also our guests, who all of this would not have been possible without them. Last year, we partnered with Just Dig It, an organization that works with local communities and local partners, focusing on re-greening the landscape. The picture shown is an example of this. So these buns or earth smiles collect the rainwater that would have otherwise just flowed out. This project resulted also in the number of buns within the area going up to 29,000 in 9 different areas. And so far this year, 136 bags of seeds have been collected, and this created an extra income for the women in the area. One of our other partners, the Grevy's Zebra Trust, was also involved with us, and we previously partnered with them during the drought. by donating bales of hay and distributing them around the conservancy to take care of the struggling Grevy's zebra. Grevy's Zebra Trust is also the only organization 100% dedicated to protecting the population of Grevy's zebra here in Kenya. They also actively work with the community, educating the community on sustainable land use practices and conservation. We support and work with partners like Iwaso Lions and the Laikipia Wild Dog Project. Not only do they focus on protecting the animals, but they also focus on addressing issues around human-wildlife conflict and focusing on educating the community members by making them part of these programs. Under community, so here at Sasaab, we employ 70% of our staff from the local community as part of our agreement with the Conservancy. A recent survey among our staff showed that each staff member on average supported 10 family members, and that's a much larger impact than we had originally thought. Here I can use an example of one of my team members, Elijah. Elijah is a 24-year-old gentleman. He started here with us 2 years ago in our staff village as a casual staff member, just sorting rubbish. We loved his enthusiasm and we decided to make him a permanent part of the team in our maintenance department. And today, Elijah is actually one of the people that, one of our room stewards. So he takes care of the guest room and interacts with people on a daily basis. So he's got a front-facing role now. We don't stop by just creating opportunities in Sasaab. We also open the wider company to everyone. So, for example, my colleague Eric will mention 2 of our conservation scholars who are currently over at his camp. And then on the scholars, so this is the lovely picture we can see. These are our conservation scholars. They visited us earlier this year because we held the annual conservation scholar camp here in Samburu. We had the opportunity here at Sasaab to host them for a morning, taking them through our shamba, sharing stories with our blacksmith, and then we took them over to our 4C Center to share some inspirational videos with them. And this is a project that's very close to my heart because most of these kids I've seen from their point of application to the first day of school. It's really special. Then we also opened a new classroom thanks to a very generous guest at one of the primary schools. And this again, this was very, I've got shivers. This was very special to me. Almost a year to the date of opening school, I had been there and they had one block of class with 2 classrooms and the toddlers were all under the tree. And now they have an extra classroom, they have ablution blocks, the teachers have a new housing area, and we also provided them with books and school uniforms and teaching materials. And we're also looking at developing their garden and providing them with drinking water. Then we also we run a dental clinic that provides dental and medical care to the people in the area. And we work very closely with our local dispensary, often purchasing medicines when they don't have any. And we are fortunate to have a footprint vehicle. So our footprint vehicle acts as an ambulance in any emergency. They do the deliveries for our Feeding Young Minds programs, where we feed 8 schools within the region's school lunches. And it also takes our lovely scholars to and from school end and beginning of term. And there we go. So moving on to culture, we try and do as much as possible to celebrate the rich Samburu culture out here. One of the things we do is we encourage our staff to share their stories with the guests and also to wear traditional dress. Expanding our offering of culture right here at the lodge, we recently opened the Rodeo Man Museum of Samburu Culture. Rodeo Man dedicated most of her life to researching and preserving the Samburu culture. The collection is of various items. It includes necklaces. Hold that up. I do have permission to handle these. But it includes necklaces, traditional copper earrings, cowhide bags, and many items that you don't find the people use anymore. The collection used to be housed at the National Museum in Nairobi, and we were happy to be a part of bringing all of this back home. One of the cultural activities that we offer our guests is a visit over to the local community, offered by and guided by one of our Samburu spotters. We make a donation on behalf of any guest that visits. I've worked in many places, and to me, it is probably one of the most authentic village experiences. There is nothing to buy. We have a dedicated marketplace set up over at our airstrip. It's truly a learning experience, and many of my guests have basically given feedback that this was the most transformative event or experience in their safari. And in 2003, we actually recorded that 800 of our guests visited the local communities. Then another activity we offer, which is from the picture we can see, is a traditional cultural ceremony that the guests can visit. It is a truly magical experience, so an explosion of singing and dancing, and is made even more special by the knowledge that these women are the ones that are the hardest working in the family, and they don't often get a chance to sing and celebrate the way the men do, because they have to build the houses, take care of the children and the goats, to name but a few things. And then we also suggested the introduction of traditional attire as school uniforms, moving away from the Western uniform. It helped to demystify the formal education and celebrate the Samburu culture, of course. Then under commerce, we are lucky to have a substantial flow of bed nights that enables the Conservancy to fund impactful projects through the conservation fees that are paid by our guests. These funds go not only towards the management of the Conservancy, but also the protection of the wildlife, building roads, and general development. Our 4C Center, which houses our gym, spa, shop, and learning hub, which also includes a section dedicated to the community leaders that were part of the original agreement for the land, was built last year. And we also built an extra family room, increasing our bed nights and creating more employment. This is just an overview of the outcomes of our impact of 2023. Of course, I'd like to point out the 37 students that were part of our scholarship program, 1,347 meals that were provided to the 8 schools in the area, and then the conservation fees totaling $387,565 that was given to the community. And that is it. Do I have a couple of seconds?
You always have a couple of seconds.
Okay, so just in closing, I'd like to share a Samburu proverb with everyone, and excuse my butchering, but miboe nkare emesho nkwe, which means water is unstoppable as long as it has started flowing. And that's how I feel about our impact. We've started. We're here, and we're going to stop. Thank you.